Hello, listeners of Siouxland Catholic Radio, Channel 88.1 FM, KFHC Ponca Sioux City, and KOIA Storm Lake. We are so glad that you're taking time out of your busy schedule to listen to Faith in Action. I'm your host, Joanne Fox, and maybe it's Monday at 9 a.m., and maybe it's Saturday at 7 p.m., or maybe it's at your convenience at our website, SiouxlandCatholicRadio.com, or on one of our other podcasting platforms, Spotify or others that I can't think of. So just, again, so happy that you're taking time to listen to our podcast. And now this is kind of a self-serving one, is that we're going to talk about Vacation Bible School. We hosted it last year, and this year our good friends over across the river, St. Michael's Catholic Church in South Sioux City, Nebraska, and we are going to collaborate on this event. So the important thing is the date. It's July 31 to August 3. And again, I'll say this later in the broadcast. So if you didn't have time at the moment to get a pencil, paper, your phone, whatever, that you can write this down. So again, St. Michael's Catholic Church in South Sioux City, Nebraska, and Siouxland Catholic Radio hosting Vacation Bible School July 31 to August 3. It goes from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the church, and that's located at 1315 First Avenue in South Sioux City. So who can come to Vacation Bible School? Well, young people, and we're calling them pilgrims on this journey, entering 1st to 6th grade in August 2023, are invited to pack their lunch, grab their passport, which is a Bible, and walk in the footsteps of Jesus. Now, it is limited to the first 50 pilgrims, and because it's in South Sioux, preference is going to be given to students from St. Michael's Catholic Church, and then Northeast Nebraska families, and then Siouxland. So I would say, don't hesitate. What's the most important thing besides when it is going to be? There's a deadline. There's always a deadline. And it is Tuesday, July 11th. And like I said, listeners, I will be spouting this information throughout the broadcast of this show. So there's nothing stronger in the industry than testimonials from individuals who have been previously associated with Vacation Bible School. We hosted this last year at our studio, and that is at the historic St. Boniface Catholic Church in Sioux City, Iowa. And this year we are stepping away to go, like I said, across the river to collaborate with St. Michael's in South Sioux City. And I had a great time last year. Maybe you heard the broadcast I did interviewing some of the pilgrims, the students who were on that journey with Vacation Bible School last year, and some of the leaders. It was a great, great time. There were so many wonderful things that took place. We had mass, we had music, we had crafts, we had snacks, we went outside and did stuff, and it was just great to see all the young people and the adults and even the staff here. We had so much fun. So in the studio with me are three individuals who somehow are associated with Vacation Bible School that was held last year, and that was in early August here at Siouxland Catholic Radio. So I want to welcome to the studio three of the many Van Hunniks. And here with me is Dad, Billy. And Billy, I think, is okay to call you because you're kind of like a young person anyway. And then his son, Will, and then his other son, Wesley. And then we have lots more Van Hunniks to talk about. But I guess the key to all of this is Dad. So, Billy, why don't you tell the listeners a little bit about yourself?
Well, my name is Billy. I'm actually from Northeast South Dakota, and I met my wife down at college, and she wanted to come down here, and I said okay. So we came down here. I'm a convert. I converted to Catholicism, and I couldn't be any more grateful to her and to the faith for bringing me to that, because it's just been a constant learning session since. As far as myself, I very much enjoy Sioux City. I feel like a lifelong Sioux Cityan. But other than that,
Well, I imagine you and it's funny, listeners, because his wife is named Billy too. And by the way, her father is named Bill. I don't know. Does it get confusing, when somebody just yells out Bill and
No.
four people answer? No, it does not.
We just all look.
Okay, so everybody answers. It's kind of like when I get Mom, I never know who that is at my house
Correct.
that's asking me that. So, you and Billy talked about Vacation Bible School and you enrolled your kids.
Yep.
Why? I mean, you could have enrolled them in just about anything because, as we know, listeners, in the summer, there are oodles of opportunities for young people to take advantage of.
Correct. Well, we wanted as parents, we wanted our kids to know that learning their faith is very important. Not only, and we're not the only ones that have that, faith to teach. We want them to know that there are multiple outlets to learn the same faith and to continue their journey. And we wanted them to be able to enjoy some time with some peers, with their own age groups, and have some fun doing it.
Okay, good reasoning. So let's kind of move to the next individual who's a Van Hunnik, and that's Will. And so, Will, tell the listeners a little bit about yourself, how old you are, and where you might be in school, and things like that.
So, my name is William or Will. I'm 11 years old.
Like in school, I'm
homeschooled.
Okay, so if you were in a grade, though, would you be like in 4th or 5th?
I'm in 5th grade.
Okay.
And I'm going into 6th.
Okay, very good. And so you learn about Vacation Bible School, and what were your thoughts? Did you think that would be something interesting to do, or, oh my gosh, my folks have signed me up for one more thing, I don't even want to go. Can I just stay home and watch TV? What were you thinking it would be like?
I was thinking that it would be really fun and awesome to do because we get to come here and learn about like saints and learn about God.
Okay. And so next to Will is his brother, Wesley. So, Wesley, tell the listeners a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name is Wesley. I'm 13 years old. I'm going into 8th grade.
You're part of the homeschool situation as well?
Yes, I am in homeschool.
Are you the oldest?
I am the oldest, and I'm the oldest of 8.
8. And this is going to be a quiz. Name everybody else.
William, next to me.
Yeah, right next to you.
Benjamin, Charlie, Nina, Joseph, Thomas, and Nicholas.
Very good. Very good. You get an A if we were giving out A's and stars. So you find out that the parents have signed you up for this. What were your thoughts about attending?
Well, I was actually very excited for it, knowing that I was going to be able to help other people learn about their faith and hopefully get to know a little more than I do.
Okay, very good. So you attended. What was the best part of it, would you say?
Well, if you mean it by what was my favorite part, I would say it was the outdoor activities.
Okay. Let's see, and I remember you did some races and things like that, right? If I remember correctly. Okay. Yeah, who doesn't like good outdoor activities? Because the weather was just wonderful. All the days we had it, the weather was very good. Well, how about you, Will? What did you like the best about Vacation Bible School?
Well, what I liked best is the outdoor activities, and also
did you get snacks, right? I thought the snacks were good. Didn't your mom make cupcakes?
Yes, she did.
They were excellent. I remember that. Yeah, she's quite the baker. So, Will, let me ask you this. So you come in and you even we as a staff weren't quite sure what we were doing because it was the first time we ever did it. What surprised you where you went, wow, I didn't think this would happen? Not a bad surprise, could be a good surprise, but what surprised you?
What really surprised me is getting interviewed.
That's right. That was a surprise because I went around asking everybody, and not everybody wanted to be interviewed, and not everybody wanted to recite a prayer. But that was a surprise we pulled on you students. But you guys were good. You stepped up to the plate. Wes, what about you? What surprised you?
What surprised me the first time I walked in the doors for the Vacation Bible School was, wow, there's a lot of kids here.
Good point. I think we had more than 50, if I recall. Yeah, that's quite a few. So, Dad, let me ask you, the kids come home and, I don't know if they're like mine, so what did you do today? Nothing. What did you enjoy? It was all okay. Oh, okay, over and over. So when they came home, what was it that you noticed about these two that you thought to yourself, this was probably a good idea, we signed them up?
Well, the best thing that happened is they walked through the door and I had 3 people trying to tell me what they did throughout the day, rather than, me trying to prod it out of them and ask them question after question just to get a 2-word answer. It was all of them trying to tell me at the same time.
Terrific, because
So they
you had
were
a
very
daughter
excited. Yes.
too.
Yep.
Which daughter?
Nina.
Okay.
My only daughter.
The only daughter
Yep.
at this point.
Correct.
At this point, yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. So, and I think I got to interview Nina as well
That's
for
correct.
my show. So, yeah, that was great fun. So, I get are you thinking that this might be something that would be a good fit for the kids again?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I believe we already have them signed up and ready to go, and Wesley, believe Wesley's hoping to help out again.
Terrific.
And maybe William, I don't know, but I'm excited to hear all about it again, really, because it's nice when a parent comes home from a day where the kids come home and all of a sudden they're showing their excitement about it. It's a refreshing thing.
Yeah, energy and enthusiasm for those of us that are old and maybe decrepit, jaded and cynical. So, are you boys excited about coming back? I'll ask you first, Will. Excited about coming back?
I am very excited about coming back.
Did you make some new friends there that...
Yes, I did. I can't really remember their names, but
I have trouble with names too, so that's all right. But they should be repeats. I mean, it seems that we have just put the word out, and already we have families signing up. So my guess is that absolutely you will see some familiar faces.
yes. Honestly, I'm kind of hoping that I'd be able to see them again so that I can have some fun, enjoy doing activities.
Yeah, we got activities planned. Very good. How about you, Wes? What are you thinking?
Well, I'm very excited not only to help others younger than me to learn more about God, but also that I might learn some new things, because I know last year when I helped out, I was in some of the rooms that we were doing the activities in, and I started learning some new things along with all of the students that I would help lead.
All right, and that's what we hope as well, as a staff here works with the folks over in South Sioux, is putting something together that everybody walks away and they learn something. So again, listeners, I want to remind you, we are talking about the Vacation Bible School that we are coordinating with St. Michael's Catholic Church in South Sioux City, Nebraska. The dates, July 31 through August 3. It runs from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. The church is located in South Sioux City at 1315 First Avenue. Young people entering 1st through 6th grade in August of 2023 are invited to pack their lunch, bring their Bible, and walk in the footsteps of Jesus. And the pilgrims are going to travel to Bethlehem, the Sea of Galilee, Capernaum, Calvary, and there'll be crafts, there'll be music, there'll be games. Got to have the snacks. It is limited to 50. And of course, preference is going to be given to students from South Sioux City, Northeast Nebraska, and Siouxland in that order. And then we're also looking for youth leaders. Those are going to be disciples. They will be entering 7th to 9th grade, and we need them to kind of help out as well. And we, of course, always need adult leaders, always. And then again, most important thing, when do you sign up? You got to sign up by Tuesday, July 11th at 5 o'clock. It's $50 for the first students, $47.50 for the second student, $45 for the third student. And all of this is going to be on our website, SiouxlandCatholicRadio.com. So we have other individuals that we're going to talk to about Vacation Bible School, but my three favorite guys are going to step away from the mics right now. So I want to thank so much Billy Van Hunnik, Will Van Hunnik, and Wesley Van Hunnik for coming into the studio and giving a bit of a testimony about what they enjoyed about our inaugural Vacation Bible School last August. Thank you three so much for coming in.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And listeners, now we are going to segue to our next interviewees. Well, I want to thank my guests in the studio, Bill Van Hunnik, Will Van Hunnik, Wesley Van Hunnik, and of course we joked about mom/wife is Billy, her dad is Bill. So when we say Bill, at least 4 people answer, I think, and maybe others as well. But I want to thank them so much for taking time out of their busy schedules to come in. And again, you know, this is Faith in Action, and I'm the host, Joanne Fox, and we are talking about Vacation Bible School. Now, we hosted this for the first time last year, and this year we are going across the river to our good friends at St. Michael's Catholic Church in South Sioux City, Nebraska, and collaborating with them. And again, that date, July 31 to August 3. And the church is located at 1315 First Avenue, South Sioux City. So we'll be talking a lot more during the remainder of our show. And again, got to give a shout out to Mary's Choice. Got to give a shout out to Mary's Choice that sponsors the show. So, okay, enough housekeeping. In the studio with me now is somebody who hasn't traveled very far, actually just walked across the hall. And that is Lisa Niebuhr, and she is our listener relations director, but also, I would say, very instrumental in making sure Vacation Bible School is successful. So thank you for walking across the hall, Lisa, to join me in the studio so we can talk about Vacation Bible School. So maybe tell the listeners a little bit about how we connected with South Sioux City.
When I joined Siouxland Catholic Radio, one of the first partnerships that was identified was how do we expand our collaboration from the Diocese of Sioux City across the river to St. Michael's, South Sioux. And so working with the parish and working with the school over the past 2 years now, it doesn't seem possible. We've been doing different things, everything from Box of Joy to the Art Festival and more. And when our parishes in Sioux City said, thank you, Siouxland Catholic Radio, for helping us out last year as we were coming out of the pandemic, they were all excited to say, we've got it ready and we're going to be delivering it in our parishes this year. And our colleagues at St. Mike's South Sioux said, you know, we have not done this. We've partnered with the sisters before, but we would love to partner with somebody else in doing so. And as you know, listeners, last year we had students from 7 different communities, 46 youth campers, 16 adults, 16 youth camp leaders, 7 adults, but from 7 different communities, including St. Mike's South Sioux. So we spoke with Maria and said, Maria, we know your plate is busy getting ready for the 125th anniversary on July 16th. Would you like to do this year? And she said, oh my goodness, please and thank you. And how soon can we get this started? And so we sat down, talked with her, kind of shared with her what happened last year, our plans kind of for this year if we were able to do it. And so we have just been excited to see it all come to fruition. We've got many of the same volunteers as last year. We've got folks like the Van Hunnik family, the Deal family, and others who are saying, Lisa, we'd love to do this. And so listeners, if you haven't yet, we want to remind you that that drop dead deadline is July 15th at July 11th, July
It's-
15th.
I have July 11th in my notes.
Thank you. July 11th at 5 o'clock. That is the drop dead deadline, and we're taking the first 50 registered campers. So if you register at 4:59 and we already have 50 campers, I apologize. That's why you want to get registered today. But again, first through sixth graders are going to be our campers. We're looking for those students who are going to be in junior high and high school to be our youth leaders. And then we've got Fran O'Toole back, Amy Saboski, and we even have our very own draw-nears, Crystal Schellabarger, helping out this year. So it'll be a fabulous time. And Joanne, you talked about walking across the hallway. We are going to go on a travel, and we are going to walk in the footsteps of Jesus, and we are going to travel to Bethlehem. And to give the kids that opportunity, you know, we all can understand and read the Bible, but if the kids have that opportunity to walk in Jesus' footsteps, to experience life from his vantage point, we hope they will have a greater understanding of their faith and be able to understand how Jesus shapes their lives today.
Very much so. And again, you know, that drop dead deadline, folks, is Tuesday, July 11th at 5 p.m. And if you're listening and you have a young person, maybe you're the grandparent, maybe you're the mom, maybe you're the sister, maybe you're the aunt, youth, and we're going to call them pilgrims because they're going to go on the journey, entering first through sixth grade in August of 2023, will pack your lunch, grab your passport or your Bible, and you can walk in the footsteps of Jesus. They're going to travel to Bethlehem, the Sea of Galilee, Capernaum, Calvary, Bible study, crafts, music, games, snacks, so much more. It's a great time. And I had so much fun last year because I put some of the students on the air, and they really enjoyed talking about their experiences, and I enjoyed hearing about their experiences as well. But Lisa, you were kind of in the trenches as well. What kinds of things were you hearing from, let's start with the students, and then we'll segue into their extended family members. So what kinds of things did you hear from the students about what they enjoyed about Vacation Bible School?
Several different things. First of all, Joanne and Ann and listeners, as you know, if I go to Catholic schools during the day, I wear my dress code. If I'm going to religious ed in the evening, I've gone to school all day. And so there are times when learning about our faith, you get tired because you're so worn out and busy. Vacation Bible School gives us that opportunity to really have fun, to shed the dress code, to be able to take time during the day to learn our faith, and not to have to sit and necessarily read everything, but to get to hear and to be able to experience and learn things from a hands-on perspective. We all know that we have the very best show choirs in Siouxland, or in the state right here in Siouxland. And so the kids had a fun opportunity to sing, to dance, to learn some wonderful songs, and to work on their fun activities in show choir. The other thing is, as we all know, it's hot. How many of us get to go to church and get to play with water balloons? How many of us get to go outside and play on the playground? That's the neat thing about Vacation Bible School is you get to be able to do some of those fun things that you can't do during the regular school year and be able to learn and grow. It was also fun from the adults to be able to say, we had some families say, oh, I want to come with my kids to Mass today. And it was one family with several little kids. Well, then by the end of the week, we had around 60 adults, grandparents, little brothers and sisters who all came out with such enthusiasm and excitement and celebrated Mass as a family. And isn't that what Vacation Bible School is all about? It's about taking new opportunities to grow in our faith, not just as kids, but as adults. The other fun thing, both from the students and the adults' perspective, is there are times when we all say, you know what, I'm ready. I'm in junior high, I'm in high school, I'm ready to move on. Why do I have to volunteer with Vacation Bible School? And to earn those silver card hours, to be able to mentor, to be able to be that leader, to be able to teach somebody else what you've learned. And for us as adults to see those lights come on and to see those older students embrace and get excited about their faith, that was really the joy of Vacation Bible School. The sad thing is, it came to an end on Thursday. The good thing is, it came to an end on Thursday because some of the kids were so tired and worn out. They're like, oop, we're ready for school. And others just had the best time. And my final aha was, and speaking of the Van Hunnik family, is we asked them, Billy said, I'd like to make cupcakes because the kids were going to celebrate Jesus' birthday. And so they made cupcakes for everybody instead of getting a big cake that was messy to cut apart, individualized cupcakes. Now, you know the Van Hunnik family is all hands on deck. And so the kids said, oh, Mom, let's put jelly beans on. And they were different colors. But the kids told Billy, Mom, to set one cupcake aside. And they picked out 3 gold jelly beans. Why gold? Because they brought Jesus frankincense, gold, and myrrh. They brought 3 jelly beans because he is the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. And his gifts were far greater than gold. And that cupcake was not touched even at the end of Vacation Bible School because they set it aside. That was Jesus's birthday cake. And so to be able to see the kids from at home to what they learned here and what they took out and are sharing and living their faith, it was exciting. And so what an honor and blessing to be able to partner with St. Mike's South Sioux and to our many donors in our parishes and Father Peter, who helped celebrate Mass last year. Thank you. That's the gift of Vacation Bible School that we weren't always able to share with you, but we want you to know that's the impact that your dollars are having and why we're doing it again this year.
Absolutely. And I just want to segue off of a couple of things you mentioned. Actually, Wesley and Will Van Hunnik both talked about the outdoor activities, which isn't that the truth? You can't have that level of water balloon fun in a school day because, well, you're in dress clothes for all practical purposes, but you can have it here. And in fact, probably school is a misnomer. It's really more of a camp in which, we're doing a lot of different activities with the kids, very social, very informal. Mass is even a little bit, I would say informal. Father Peter Wynn, who is serving at Holy Cross Parish. See him at Mass every once in a while. He was a celebrant of the Mass here. So, of course, we will have Mass at this year's Vacation Bible School as well. So, those things. And then I was not aware of the cupcake story. I saw the cupcakes, listeners. I had a cupcake. It was fabulous. But I was not aware of that little tidbit. And so, like Paul Harvey says, now you know the rest of the story. So that's why it's a real joy for us to collaborate with another parish to bring this for students and families to come together and really have a great time celebrating their faith and in somewhat of a public manner, because when the kids are outside, the neighbors can see them and they see what they're doing. It's kind of like the Feast of Corpus Christi, where we are processing with a monstrance which has the sacred host in it, and it's a public expression of our faith. And so when people see the kids outside doing things, even though, well, they kind of look like they're having a lot of fun, they're working on elements of their faith. And so I think that's one of our strengths in collaborating with the parish on Vacation Bible School, is yet again illustrating to a greater public our faith and our love of our faith.
And Joanne, that walking tour, when we were doing Vacation Bible School, Elise Bishbaharma, and I never say her last name correctly, said to the kids, hey, would you like to learn about the organ? Would you like to learn about the church architecture? That kind of spurred that light in your eyes that said, ooh, we need to do a walking tour of this beautiful historic St. Boniface Church. And so seeing some of the kids and the families come back saying, what was it that the kids learned about the organ? Teach us about the beautiful artwork here at St. Boniface. Even some of those things that we as adults learned, we have then since used here at Siouxland Catholic Radio. So we never do things just kind of saying, here it is, and it's done. We're always looking and saying, how can we build upon this? And how can we, too, as adults, grow in our faith and share that with one another? So what a fun joy that was to be able to be a part of that ministries fair and walking tour and see the adults learn about this gorgeous building.
And it was real interesting. The other thing, of course, like I said, that, we have Mass celebrated for the students, and I didn't think too much about that. But as you mentioned, Lisa, as the days went by when we did Vacation Bible School last year, that we had parents come forward and say, gee, can I come to Mass? Well, of course you can come to Mass. This isn't exclusive to our campers. And by the end of the week, we had all kinds of people at Mass. And I think that reaffirmed for me the support that these individuals had, either for their children or grandchildren or nieces, nephews, whatever, that was an important part. This is Catholic, this is our faith. This is not an ecumenical kind of approach. This is our Catholic faith. And so to celebrate Mass, we discovered was very important, and more important than I thought it might be. And that, I must say, that did kind of surprise me that people put such a high value on it. Because again, I'm thinking kids, they do like the physical stuff, the water balloons, the running back and forth, the dancing. Oh, they love the singing, the crafts. They like that. I didn't think that it would resonate as much. So maybe, Lisa, you could chat about that as well.
I was surprised the first time a mom on Monday said, I brought my little ones, can I come and stay for Mass? And then it was a grandma wanting to stay, a grandpa wanting to stay. At the end of the week, it was grandma and grandpa both bringing the kids. And it wasn't, I'm a Nebraska kid, I'm a Diocese of Sioux City kid, I'm a Catholic school or Catholic Diocese of Sioux Falls family. Everybody was coming together, and our Catholic faith, the parish was getting packed. And as we were seeing those families come, then we saw more donations for Mary's Choice, and we saw that greater interaction. And we also saw, as the kids grew that week, that as more family members came, they sat a little taller in church. They were more active in church. And so bringing the adults and saying, we're here to support our kids, made them feel more special, that people truly loved and cared for them, whether it was my grandparents, my parents, or even the little babies. And it reaffirms parents. You say, oh, but my little one is walking around at church because he's 1 or 2 years old. They were doing that here too. It's great to see the parish alive. And if the parish were so quiet that all you heard were the footsteps and the people, speaking and lecturing, the church would not be alive. And so to be able to even hear those little squiggles in the seats was fun, because the younger kids said, little brothers and sisters don't do that. Or the older kids said, And so we all grew in our faith and our knowledge and our love.
Yeah, very much so. And it was great to see how much the kids enjoyed. And then, the whole experience. And then another thing you had mentioned earlier, and of course, listeners, if you pay attention to this program, I just kind of go all over the place, and because I get these thoughts and then I got to say them, is, the young people, and I'll call them that were kind of not leaders, but helpers with the younger ones. I think it was Wesley. Yeah, it was Wesley Van Hunnik earlier in this interview who said he really looked forward to sharing his faith with other students. And that's real powerful, I think. A lot of us hesitate to share our faith for fear that maybe we'll be criticized, or someone will be confrontational about our faith. And he was so comfortable in saying that. And you kind of alluded to that a little bit, how the older ones kind of give an eye, maybe not the stink eye, but a little bit of an eye to the younger ones as to, the decor that's important during Mass. But the whole idea of just sharing one's faith with somebody else. And of course, that's what we're trying to do with Vacation Bible School /camp, is sharing our faith and celebrating it. And so, again, the whole idea is coming together because we have this commonality.
And Joanne, sharing our faith, some of the kids who were a part last year of the art festival and came to Vacation Bible School and doing some of their artwork, invited and encouraged other students to say, you have a gift. You can be able to share your faith and your love of the arts with next year's art festival. And so we saw those kids who were a little uncertain participate in Vacation Bible School. They did beautiful work. at our second annual art festival. And so to see them grow more comfortable, whether I was a homeschooler, whether I was enrolled in the public schools, the Catholic schools, to be able to say our faith, we can share it proudly and not be afraid, especially in today's world. And to see them embrace that and stand proud, so very exciting.
So what other insights have you received from parents who have been perhaps reaching out? Because we have been publicizing this on social media. What other insights are you hearing from parents that think that this might have value?
For parents to be able to say, if I can't afford it, that there are angels who are going to help them. For parents to be able to say, we had a young man last year who was not excited about going back to religious ed this past fall. And he's like, do I have to go to Vacation Bible School? Do I have to be that leader? And for him to be disappointed the week was coming to an end, and to be excited about religious ed starting this fall. And then for me, watching the kids who were a part of Vacation Bible School, our helpers, to be confirmed, and to see how they had even grown from August until October at confirmation, and to see that poise and that presence, and then to see their little fan club after confirmation come up and celebrate them. It was more than just, I'm your fan club. It's, I admire you. I respect you. I appreciate that you continue to not only say, but do as you say and live your faith, and are joining the church and saying, I'm going to be that next leader, and watching them grow. And then for some of them to say, I'm coming back. I'm going to be a junior in high school, but I'm coming back to volunteer with with Vacation Bible School. And those sixth graders to say, now I'm going to volunteer. I was the recipient. I'm going to pay it forward. How very exciting. And then for our listeners to be able to say, ooh, I get to hear Fred all the time with Draw Near, and I get to hear Kara. And here's Crystal publicly sharing her faith, unbeknownst to most people, saying, yep, I want to volunteer. I help in so many different ways behind the scenes with Fred and Kara's ministries. I want to be able to let people know how important my faith is. And here they all come, even little Francis, 15-month-old, is coming to Vacation Bible School, and to say, yep, we'll make this work. And kindergartners who last year were a little antsy, saying, yep, we're ready for first grade Vacation Bible School, or some of the preschoolers this year who fine-tune some of those sitting quiet skills, ready to be in Vacation Bible School, even though they're going to be a kindergartner this year, because they were excited. They sat in the pews last year with the Mass, and now they want to set up with the big kids. That's what Vacation Bible School is all about. It's preparing the next set of leaders, as well as reinforcing to us adults that we have a role to play. That by our faith, we invite the kids to say, come and learn with us, come and grow. We're all learning together. We're all a camper or a pilgrim on this journey. How can we each share our talents, our gifts, and to be able to grow and to be able to take our faith and share it with others?
Yeah, and I remember when I interviewed the campers last year, almost to a fault, when I said, what brought you to Vacation Bible School? They said, my mom thought it was a good idea. And now I think because they have this under their belt, like you mentioned, Lisa, they are more apt to say that was a good time. And I get it. Some of them came in without friends, like their next door neighbor or their best bud. Mom just signed them up because mom thought it was a good idea, or dad or grandma. And that's a hard thing to step into, because I think a lot of kids associate church with something tedious. It's a lot of reading. Sure, there's some singing, but when you're 8 or 9 years old, it's not all that interesting. Now add to that, even if you're in Catholic school or in religious ed, now it's more reading, now it's more lecturing, but this was fun. And I think they didn't anticipate the level of fun that they were going to have. And so that meant that the experience was positive enough that probably the vast majority of them will want to come back because they did have such a good time.
And those who you expected to be quiet, like Gianna Romiller, who stood right now where you're sitting, Joanne, and sharing her prayer. How fun to be able to see them at masses or helping with lecturing or cantering or helping as a server, and to see them go, ooh, this was really fun. I can do more. We help them overcome some of those heebie-jeebies and uncertainties to say, how can I be able to do that? And so we gave them this comfortable environment in which to grow, and now to be able to take it forth and share it in other ways.
Absolutely, and that's what I think one of the strengths were, and that is the very, very comfortable environment. I can't think of anybody who short-circuited on us. I'm sure there was probably one or two that might have had a moment, and that's fine. We all have moments. They're children. We understand that. But they just seemed to have so much fun, and they weren't inhibited in any way. I mean, the crafts, the singing, everything, the dancing, they just really embraced it and reveled in it. And so again, you know, as someone who is kind of on the sidelines watching, that was very gratifying.
Now, we do have one problem we need to address, Joanne.
Oh, dear.
Anne, we do have a little difficulty because, as you know, I think there were a few car accidents around Sioux City because as people heard the kids' prayers, they pulled over and stopped saying, oh, that's not Father Heeman. That's not a Father Keating prayer. That's not a Father Grieving prayer. That's my child, or that's a child. And so it caught our listeners' ears, and we all stopped and said, wow, isn't that cool?
Yeah, that was probably a stroke of brilliance. It's not too hard to find simple prayers. You Google prayers for children, and a million of them come up, and we printed them off, and almost every single one of them said, yeah, I want to read a prayer. And they did. Some of them took a couple of turns trying to get it right, and then Anne would play it for them, and the looks on their faces, because they had never heard themselves on the radio or heard themselves taped and then played back. You know, the first time you ever hear your voice, it's a shocker because that's not what you hear in your head. But it was so much fun, and you could see they enjoyed it. And you're right. I typically would turn the radio up if I was in the car and it was time for one of their prayers, because they were so innocent and so heartfelt, and just they were adorable. So.
And we kept sharing them, listeners, on social media because of your feedback. You drive so much of what we do here at Siouxland Catholic Radio. So thank you for saying keep sharing them, because you might not have heard your child's prayers one day, so I want to hear it another day, or I want to see this child's picture to see, is it Lisa or Elizabeth or whomever? And so it was fun to be able to watch that joy continue even into the fall.
Now, of course, it's not young people that listen to this radio program. I wish it was, but mostly it's adults. And so I'm thinking to myself, there's got to be somebody now who is energized and thinks that this whole Vacation Bible School camp is just a great idea, and they have some free time this summer, and maybe they'd like to help us volunteer. So if somebody is listening and they think to themselves, this is great, how can I volunteer? What would you recommend they do, Lisa?
You can do one of a couple of different things. First of all, visit our website at SiouxlandCatholicRadio.com. Click on the Events tab in Vacation Bible School. At the bottom of the page, you'll see both a green and a purple tab. The green tab is if you've got a child who'd like to be a pilgrim or camper. The purple one is to volunteer. The second thing is you can call Maria Gomez at St. Mike's South Sioux, or give me a call, or Ann here a call at the radio station. Tell us what you want to do. Do you want to help with crafts? Do you want to volunteer? Or do you have a youth that wants to volunteer and help out? Let us know what you're interested in doing, but fill out the form. Again, adults, we do need you to be Virtus compliant. So please make sure before you show up July 31st to August 3rd that you've got your Virtus paper background work done. Then let us know. Say, here's what I want to do. Maybe you're kind of like a Rob Seiler last year who shared his beautiful artwork, and he's like, yep, I want to come. I want to do this. Dr. Jeremy Owens showing the kids the organ. But give us a call. Let us know how you want to be a volunteer. You can help donate food. You can help with activities, crafts, music, etc. You can even help with mailings and putting together. Afterwards, we'll send out pictures to all of the youth leaders and say thank you, as well as our many volunteers. But let us know. Visit our website, SiouxlandCatholicRadio.com, or call us at 712-224-5342, or call Maria Gomez at St. Mike's, South Sioux, and her phone number is on our website too. And I'm updating the website so you'll see the beautiful image of Jesus and the kids, and just click on that and that'll take you where you need to go.
And, Lisa mentioned, that we are Virtus compliant here, which is, it's a series of meetings and online video kinds of things. And I believe online just things to read that allow us to keep our young people safe, because we want them to be safe, and that's important. And the U.S. Catholic Conference of Bishops have indicated that that's important for any volunteer, and that's especially for ones that interact with students and young people. But if you think to yourself, well, I'd still like to help, but I don't need to go through all that stuff, we would welcome it if you would just drop off chocolate chip cookies. I think that's my favorite. So, and if you're not a baker, there are several bakeries in Siouxland that you could stop at and buy some and bring them, and the kids would love them. Who doesn't like good snacks?
Oh, and we've got different fun art supplies. One day we're going to do the rock paintings. We're going to make some beautiful nativity sets. If you've got some arts and craft supplies around the house that you're saying, what am I going to do with this fabric or paints? Drop them off. You can help us do that. And we'll get you involved. Otherwise, there are some things here at the station we can do beforehand that we'd love your help. Or if you want to say, you know what, I'll help clean up afterwards, after the kids are done, so that way the church is ready for whatever's going on that evening. We'd love your help with that. And listeners, I'm going to tie back, speaking of Joanne, you're visiting with the folks from Her Health Women's Center about the importance of social media safety. That's why we're doing the USCCB work to provide that safe environment, because the world is changing, and that few minutes of tips can make a world of difference in a child's life and your own.
Yes, absolutely. So, listeners, again, what are we talking about? Thank you for staying with us for almost this whole hour. We are talking about Vacation Bible School, although I like camp, because school sounds kind of like I got to do homework, and there's no homework. And this is in collaboration with St. Michael's Catholic Church in South Sioux City, Nebraska. They will host this at the church. It is located at 1315 First Avenue, South Sioux City. The dates, July 31, August 1, August 2, August 3, just those dates. And then it goes from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Youth, also known as pilgrims, are eligible to participate, entering 1st to 6th grade in August. Pack their bag, lunch bag, grab a Bible, walk in the footsteps of Jesus. They're going to travel to Bethlehem, the Sea of Galilee, Capernaum, Calvary. They're going to do some Bible study, some crafts, some music, some games, some snacks. And again, it is limited to the first 50 pilgrims, because that's all the people we can handle, not only from a volunteer aspect, from a student aspect too. 50 tops. Preference is going to be given first to students from St. Michael's Catholic Church in South Sioux City, then Northeast Nebraska families, then Siouxland. So that would be Sioux City or Southeast South Dakota. And we may even give you a little preference if your student attended last year, because we would like that student to return. We always like that. And then, of course, we got to have some youth leaders. We call them disciples. The youth are pilgrims. The leaders are disciples. And they were just priceless. And those entering 7th to 9th grade, and they can station assistants, herding cats is what I like to call them, because some of the first graders are kind of like that. They're all over the place. And then we really do need adult leaders, too. I mean, it's just critical. So all of this goes smoothly. We've learned a lot in this year.
And Joanne, if I'm that disciple, bring a friend, because it's a lot easier to do it with a friend and say there's 2 or 3 of us that are going to take the first and second graders from math to whatever. So bring a friend, have some fun.
Yeah, that's the best. I mean, there's power in numbers, and I believe our Lord said, wherever two or more of you are gathered together, there I am too. And, well, we're going to have at least 50 of them gathered together. So, burning question, of course, registration deadline. We've said it several times. I'm going to say it once more. Tuesday, July 11th at 5 p.m. After that, highly unlikely that we're going to be able to get you in. We'll put you on a waiting list in case something happens and a student has to step aside. But that's it. We got to cut it off sometime. Registration, I mean, there's a fee. There has to be a fee, because we are buying supplies and snacks and all that good stuff. So it's $50 for the first student, and that is for all 4 days. It is not $50 a day. It is $50 for the 4 days. Now, if you have a second student, then that price is $47.50, and then a third student is $45. So, there's a little bit of a fee, and most of you are aware of this now. If you're going to pay with the credit card, that's almost standard operating procedure anymore. I like to go out to eat, and a little finance charge is added to the bill. I get it, because we, again, have fees associated with credit cards, but it's just a couple of dollars, and I totally get the whole idea of the ease and that you can use a credit card. The registration fee is waived for younger siblings of group leaders. So that's a pretty good deal. If you've got a kid who's going to enter 7th to 9th grade, the registration fee is waived for that younger siblings. And we totally understand that not everyone has the wherewithal to pay $50. Even though we think that's a good deal, we understand that not everybody has that. And so there are some scholarships available. I believe we did give some last year, Lisa.
Yes, and if you would like to adopt a camper, let's say you went to Vacation Bible School like I did, and somebody helped my family send the 4 of us kids to Vacation Bible School, you can adopt a camper, and that donation is tax deductible.
There you go. So, again, all the information is at our website, SiouxlandCatholicRadio.com. We encourage you to go there and look at stuff, and I think that will be helpful. So, God bless you all for listening to us. We really appreciate it. I want to remind you that Faith in Action is brought to you by Mary's Choice, a Sioux City Pregnancy Resource Center. Previous Faith in Action shows can be found on SiouxlandCatholicRadio.com, on Spotify, and on a number of other podcasting platforms. So I want to thank my guests for this program. I got to remember them all. Bill Van Hunnik, Will Van Hunnik, Wesley Van Hunnik, Lisa Niebuhr, and I am the host of this show, Faith in Action, Joanne Fox. So on behalf of my executive producer, Ann Reed, and myself, I want to remind you that a faithful reaction is good, but faith in action is so much better. Thanks for listening, and God bless.